Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Go Up,
where we explore the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven.
I'm Dean.
And I'm Karitas.
Karitas, today we are on Son Bride Part 2.
Oh, yes. We are going to be talking about the bride of Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Here comes the bride, all dressed in white.
Karitas.
Slipped on a banana peel and went for a ride.
Okay, we're back.
We're back. It's a wedding. It's a party.
Wow, yes.
Listen, Dean, before we get started, do you ever think about this when he talks about coming to the wedding feast? And then I'm like, wait, but are we not the bride of Christ? We're invited to the feast, the wedding, and then we're the bride. Are we sitting at the head table? Where do I sit?
You're going to be sitting at the head table, Karitas. I feel it.
Yeah. We'll see.
All right.
You know, I'm not going to purposely pick the head table because how embarrassing would it be to be told to move down when you could be called up? Was that not somewhere in the Bible?
It is, actually.
Okay, but we have things to do before we start this party.
Yes, we do. We have a website, Karitas.
Letsgoup.us.
Because we're in this together, and we would like to welcome our listening and watching guests today.
Yes, give them a round of applause. People on YouTube, on Grace Awakening Network, on all the podcast platforms, and everything can be found at the website. All the links to the links.
That's right.
Direct you right there.
If you are encouraged by today's episode, consider hitting like, share, subscribe, and there's always the notification bell if you want to be notified when we put out a new episode.
Yeah.
Which is every Monday.
Super duper.
All right.
Okay.
So, Karitas, last week we talked about sonship.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was epic.
Yeah.
And so today we wanted to contrast that with talking about the bride of Christ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you know we have to make it equal and fair.
That's right.
The sons and then the brides.
That's right.
Isn't that funny? You are sons of God, but you're also the bride of Christ.
I know. How can you wrap your mind around that?
This is why we need the mind of Christ. You know, and we were talking about this earlier. So much of this wonderful new creation life in Christ, we really can't be carrying the flesh and our worldly mindset into it. There's a lot we have to die to and just be like, okay, God, this is beyond this level of my growth. I need to move beyond and go up and continue ascending with you, because honestly, the more you try to think about this stuff and understand it, if you're still thinking through the flesh, the more frustrated you'll get.
Yeah.
Because it's completely conflicting.
Especially with this particular relationship with us and the bride. I feel like what God has done is he has put patterns in place, things that describe things in heaven to us. All right. So for instance, you know, there is marriage on the earth. Why did God put marriage here? There was something that he wanted us to see in the union of two people and the way that it propagates on the earth and all the things that happen that surround it. There's something beautiful about that God wanted us to have eyes on, because there's another version of it that's going to be happening in heaven. And the only way that we could have any clue what that might look like would be for us to experience it here. There's other things too, though. Like, how about God giving us fathers and mothers? We have an earthly father, but then there's the perfect expression of that in our heavenly Father. And even with sonship, I mean, we're sons and we're daughters here on the earth. But yet the perfect version of that, the perfect expression of that happens in our sonship with the Father.
Yeah.
And with Jesus being our elder brother. So all of these relationships, all these dynamics, they all have their perfect expression in the heavenlies.
Yeah.
But yet those perfect expressions are so far beyond anything that we can comprehend here on earth, because we see such a flawed version of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a definite reason why it's so flawed, right? There's a big threat to anything that is kingdom-oriented. God rules his kingdom with a scepter of righteousness. So anything that has that righteousness on it, that kingdom on it, the enemy is going to be trying to attack. We don't like talking about the devil and the enemy and this and that here because he's a cut off withering branch. Done. Jesus has conquered all, but we have to be aware of his devices. And these are the things he tries to touch, the things that are paralleled in the kingdom.
Yeah.
As long as we can see them through that broken view, through the lens of Adam, through the lens of the fall and the flaw and the counterfeit, then we won't fully tap into the kingdom reality of it, right?
Yeah, such a good point. So what you're saying is that things that carry a heavenly DNA or a heavenly pattern in them, like marriage or a relationship to a father or mother or children, those things are attacked by the devil because they carry an image of something that is far superior in the heavens.
Yeah.
So Satan wants to mess those things up on us. He wants to mess our views up on them. And he takes these things and he twists them to the worst degrees.
Yeah. So you see things like even prosperity, how it gets so twisted.
Yeah.
And then people don't even want to go there, or perfection.
Yeah.
And it gets twisted into this broken self thing. Sex is a big one.
Yeah.
The enemy has relentlessly perverted that. So that tells me there must be something very holy and special about this, because it's been so manipulated and so perverted and used to cause so much pain and brokenness and death and destruction all over the planet for as long as we remember or know.
Yeah.
What is the true DNA of it?
Yes.
Right? What's so threatening about it?
Yeah. And what is the heavenly pattern for all of these things?
Yeah.
And so today, in our exploring of the bride of Christ, I just want to say off the top, you're going to have to take every fleshly thought and every pattern that you have maybe experienced or thought about, and all the distortion that the devil has put into marriage and twisting sexuality in every way possible. You're going to have to take that and discard it. We're going up today, and we're going to talk about something that is in the Bible. We're going to talk about a wedding that has been planned for thousands of years, literally. We're going to talk about a bridegroom who has been waiting for his bride so far for 6,000 years, maybe even longer. We're talking in a spiritual sense here, but we're also talking in a literal sense, and we're going to try to put those two sides together. Sometimes people don't think they fit together. The easy way out would be to say this is just allegorical, but it's not. It's a real thing. We can read about it all over the New Testament and in the Old. There are types of it. There are shadows of it. There are prophetic references to it. So we're going to go there today. Karitas, I don't know. Are we even going to get this done in 1 week?
It might be a two-parter. We'll see.
Maybe. We'll see how it goes.
You know, there are some weddings, some cultures that extend the wedding out for days, right?
That's true.
Maybe this will be like an Indian wedding or something. Don't they have multiple days?
Yes. I was at an Indian wedding a couple of years ago, and it stretched out over a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So maybe that'll be the same.
Maybe.
Where do we even start, Dean? You were telling me how this whole understanding of the bride and the bridegroom, bridal chamber, all this kind of stuff has been years in the growing, God revealing and showing through time.
Are you talking about with me personally?
With you personally.
Right. Because if you want to understand the bride of Christ, you're not going to be able to read it out. You're not going to be able to study it out. You're not going to be able to gain this by accessing information and bringing in knowledge. You're going to have to encounter it. You're going to have to receive it by infused knowledge. You're going to have to experience this. It's a slow building path that for me has been a good 20, 25 years.
It's a long engagement.
It's a long time, but it's a topic that I'm very passionate about. I think it ties into the fact that I've spent a lot of time meditating on different types of end time scriptures, and there's a lot of bridal talk in some of that stuff. So it's been a precious subject to me, which has taken shape over a long period of time. It's something that you have to encounter, and I know people who are way in deeper than I am that experience things in the bridal chamber with Jesus, if you want to call it that are just absolutely astounding. There's so much bliss and joy and union available to us right now, and we're just in the stage of courtship. Can you imagine what that's going to be like when the bridegroom actually comes and collects his bride, when she makes herself ready? But we're going to talk about all that.
Okay, yeah.
You know, this is not something that you can study. it doesn't work like that. We're beyond realms of being able to get knowledge over something like this.
Yeah, this is definitely a mysterion topic.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That you want to take this to the Lord. This is personal, and there's so much that he wants to reveal, but he's not going to force any of this understanding on us. And he's very patient and gentle and kind. So I just encourage everyone, just go to him with it, especially if you have questions after this.
Yeah, because you're not going to figure this out through any kind of fleshly endeavors.
Yeah. Okay, where are we going to start?
So Psalm 45 is a wedding psalm. But the thing about it is that it's very messianic, meaning that it has a lot of references to Jesus. Just want to touch on a few of those.
Sure, let's do it.
We've got a couple of different translations here. I've got New American Standard. Karitas has got Passion.
Sure, yeah.
So maybe we'll just compare a few. It starts off by talking about the handsome son of mankind. You are the most handsome of the sons of mankind.
Ooh, beautiful, beautiful.
Realize that Jesus called himself the Son of Man. And right here we have a reference to that. He's the most handsome of the sons of mankind, right? Grace is poured out upon your lips. Do you remember when Jesus was talking in the synagogue and they marveled at the gracious words that were flowing from his lips?
Yeah.
It talks about that here. Grace is poured upon your lips. Therefore God has blessed you forever. Strap on your sword to your thigh, mighty one. And it talks about him riding victoriously, how his arrows are sharp. Then it says, your throne, O God, is forever and ever. The scepter of your kingdom is justice. Some of these verses are in reference to in Revelation when Jesus comes and his cloak is dipped in blood and he has his sword and he is riding in victory. Those kind of things. That's what we're talking about here. But I did not know until this week that this verse was in there. God has anointed you with the oil of joy above your companions. That's a direct reference to Jesus there.
Yeah, so good.
And then it starts to talk about the bride. And this is the part that just gets me when I read it. So in verse 9, it says, king's daughters are among your noble women, talking about the bridegroom, and at your right hand stands the queen in gold. And so now it starts to talk about this queen, which is the bride to be.
Yeah, I love how it words it here in the Passion. The daughters of kings, women of honor, are maidens in your courts, and standing beside you, glistening in your pure and golden glory, is the beautiful bride to be.
Yeah, the bride to be.
Now listen, daughter, pay attention and forget about your past. Put behind you every attachment to the familiar, even those who once were close to you. Wow.
Listen, daughter, look and incline your ear. Forget your people and your father's house. Here's a clear reference to us completely letting go of our past. Anything familiar, even those who were once close to you. The relationship with us and Jesus as the bridegroom is so secure that we can let go of everything past.
Yeah.
If you have ties to your past, get to know Jesus as the bridegroom.
Yeah. And you know what I love about this is we're not incorporating him into our current life. We're starting this new family with him. When you think about that with marriage, you're not getting married and joining a person in with you and your parents. You are going and starting a whole new family, a new life with this person, with this fresh identity.
Yes. So the fact that we're able to forget our past and move on and start with this new identity, it says, then the king will crave your beauty. Because he is your Lord, bow down to him. There is a translation that says, he is your Lord, bow down and worship him. So here we have worship involved.
Yeah. This reminds me of when Jesus said what seemed controversial to people, but really isn't. He said, if you don't hate your mother, father, brothers, sisters, you're not worthy of me. Meaning this is an all-in relationship.
Yes.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
So let's go all in.
Yeah.
Right? For your royal bridegroom is ravished by your beautiful brightness. Bow in reverence before him, for he is your Lord.
Yeah. And then it goes on to describe the garments, how glorious they are. They're interwoven with gold. She will be brought to the king in colorful garments. The virgins, her companions who follow her, will also be brought. We do have that reference in the Gospels to the story of the 10 virgins.
Yeah.
And how some of them were waiting with oil. The oil is the oil of union. That oil, that union, you see, that's why we need to press into this now. because you can't manufacture it on the spot.
Right. No matter how eager you are or excited you might be, you need to bring it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to bring it. And that's why this is a slow burn. Like this idea of Christ and the bride and how we relate to him as the bridegroom is something that needs to build in you over time. The union doesn't come overnight. Well, I shouldn't say that because we're already there. We're already united. But I think what happens is our perception of it grows, right?
Yeah. It's like any healthy relationship.
Yeah.
You got that beginning passion, the butterflies, you're excited, but there's a depth, a burn, the time spent with that person, the ins and outs you start to learn and know about each other.
Yeah.
There is something about the immediate passion and the fire and the butterflies in your stomach, but the relational, intentional union, that growth, the knowing each other, the yada, deeply knowing.
So if you think about this as, a courtship between a man and a woman, there's a period of time where they get to know each other, where they're engaged, or in the Bible days, they were betrothed to each other, which was kind of a different kind of engagement. It was actually even more serious than our current engagements are.
Right. You were basically married at that point. Was it not basically seen as finalized?
Yes. You have that time where, you are getting to know each other. And I think that's why when we come face to face with him and he says to some of them, I didn't know you, right? Once again, there's no way of getting that quickly. To know somebody takes time, and that time builds that oil. It puts that oil in your lamp. It lights the lamp.
Yes.
Right? And so those lamps getting lit and staying lit and having that extra oil, because they were carrying extra oil with them, right?
Yeah.
All of this kind of goes together. That's why we need to dig into this now. We don't have time to wait. We can't just wait till we get to heaven. It's critical now.
Yeah. Don't get caught up in the distractions of this realm, hustling and bustling, worried about this or that, pulled in that direction or this. Like, we really don't have time for that. Okay, guys? This time we have here is just a vapor. It's just a breath and a moment. Nothing else matters.
Yeah. It is the one thing.
It is the one thing.
Yes.
Right? And so the hustle and the bustle, Martha kind of mindset, doing the good things, missing the thing.
Yeah.
Right?
There's one verse at the end here I would like to just draw attention to a few phrases in. Verse 16, it says, in place of your fathers will be your sons, and you shall make them princes in all the earth. You see, last week we talked about sons. A son or a daughter, they have a father. When that person is then married, this becomes a different relationship. In place of those fathers, now is a bridegroom, and then there's sons. What am I trying to say? I'm not making any sense.
Now you know how I feel.
Okay.
It's in there. God, I can't get it out.
Let me say it this way. The difference between a son and a bride, and there are many of them, and we'll talk about those, is that a son has a father, but a bride has a bridegroom, and that union produces other sons. And so here it says, in place of your father will be your sons. So there are some contrasts between sons and brides that we're going to get into in a little while. That's just one of them. That's just a foretaste. So I do want to point out here that this union of this bridegroom and this bride is producing sons. Just throwing that out there. And if we are referring to Jesus as the bridegroom and this bride being the church or the ecclesia, which someday will be united because part of the church is here on earth and part of it is in heaven now, right? So it's going to be united, and then this church becomes the bride. She makes herself ready. Jesus marries her. I'm just saying that here it talks about offspring.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Stick it on the wall.
Throw the spaghetti. Let's see if it sticks. Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? And what you said there about Jesus coming for the bride is in heaven and here.
Yes. I hear all the time people saying, oh, Jesus is returning for his bride. Jesus is purifying his bride. The bride has to make herself ready. She's not ready. She's not spotless and white yet. Jesus is not coming back for a bride who is disproportioned to him. Well, with that kind of language, first of all, we're assuming a ton of things, and we're also leaving out a bunch of things, because the bride has been in the making since the day that the church flowed out of his side when they pierced him. all of the saints that went before that were part of the church, that were part of the ecclesia, they're now in heaven. There are billions of them there. And then there are the ones that are here. So right now we've got a bride that's suspended between two realities. Some of them are there, some of them are here. So Jesus is not coming back for his bride, people. What Jesus is coming back to do is he's coming back to unite his bride together in one place so that we're all together in one dimension so that there the bride can make herself ready.
Oof, it's better together.
Better together.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Okay, all this talk of bride, if you have a hard time seeing yourself how he sees you as the bride, the Song of Solomon, specifically in the Passion Translation,
Perfect. Let's go there.
it's going to rock you. Because, you read things about teeth like goats and
Right.
pomegranate breasts, and you're like, what is
I was
going
just thinking
on
your
in
teeth
this
just look like
book? Goats, a herd of goats going up
herd
the
of
hill.
goats.
But the way he translates what is actually being said is very beautiful. And you really start to see how Jesus sees his bride all through the Song of Solomon. So in the introduction, I'm not going to read the Song of Solomon, just so you know. We don't have time for that.
Because that could be 5 episodes.
That would be a
Grace.
lot. But he says most of the early church fathers
Okay.
viewed the Song of Songs as a clear representation of Christ and his bride, presented in deeply symbolic and allegorical teaching. They wrote commentaries to reveal the beautiful secrets given to us in Solomon's masterpiece. Unfortunately, it's become merely a book expressing sexuality with hidden meanings and symbols of sensuality. But we can be thankful and grateful this wise, stately king gave us such a passionate and symbolic picture of the love of God, first for his people, then for Christ's church. My darling, you are so lovely. You are beauty itself to me. Your passionate eyes are like gentle doves. And she says, my beloved one, both handsome and winsome. You are pleasing beyond words. Our resting place is anointed and flourishing, like a green forest meadow bathed in light. Were these some of the lines you used when you were courting your wife? I am truly his rose, the very theme of his song. I'm overshadowed by his love like a lily growing in the valley. And then he says, yes, you are my darling companion. You stand out from all the rest, for though the thorns surround you, you remain as pure as the lily, more than all others. There's a lot of deep, rich meaning and symbolism all throughout.
Yes.
I'm just encouraging anyone who really wants to explore the bridegroom's heart for his bride that the Song of Solomon is on point.
On point.
Yeah.
That's a much different message than repentance and shame and condemnation.
Look at your faults, see
Yeah.
what's wrong, polish it up, bring it before him.
The thing is that Jesus is constantly looking over us. He's constantly singing over us because that's a song, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a song of Solomon. So it's being sung. And all these words, he is speaking over us. That builds into us the confidence that we need to move forward knowing who we are.
Yeah. Imagine a bride walking down the aisle towards her bridegroom. Okay. So we're the bride, we're looking at our groom, and he's looking at us, and just that look of adoration, tears welling up, the emotion. Oh, she's just so beautiful. How sad would it be if she's looking at the people beside her? What are they thinking? Oh, they're thinking this about me, or they're thinking that. Looking at her dress. Oh, maybe I should have done this, or it doesn't fit right here. It doesn't look good there. But all he sees is beauty and perfection. But if she had kept her eyes locked on him, she would see what he's seeing.
Yeah.
We put our eyes on ourselves and we think that helps. Keep your eyes on him, and then you'll see what he's seeing.
Yes. I feel led to do something right now that I was not planning to do at all.
Fun,
Okay.
I hope.
I'm not one to plug my stuff, but a few years ago, I wrote this book. It's called The Grace Tree. It was my introduction into the life of grace. But I wanted to read a part in here that I wrote because I had a vision back in the day, and I wrote it down in this book. One evening a short while ago, I was meditating on the Song of Solomon. This is what we're talking about right now. In the 3rd chapter, we find a royal wedding, and a few verses later, the bridegroom is telling his bride, "You are altogether beautiful, my darling, and there is no blemish in you." All of a sudden, on the screen in my heart, a picture hit me. I saw the bride of Christ, and she was absolutely beautiful. The way Jesus looked at her was indescribable, infinitely more riveting than anything I have ever seen on this earth. And the thing is I've been a pastor, and I've married a lot of brides and bridegrooms, and so I've watched this pretty close up for a lot of years. But this was more beautiful than anything I'd seen. Dressed in a spotless white garment, she was decked out in purity and holiness, adorned with the very glory of heaven. From what I could see on the surface, she appeared to be mature and free, steadfast in her love and secure in her identity in Christ. It was a stunning image, and I was taking in the magnitude of it when the scene started to change. I watched with panic as the bride haphazardly got up from where she was. At this point, I somehow saw deeper and perceived that all the beauty was nothing but positional theological theory to her. She had no idea who she was, didn't really think she was beautiful, and didn't seem to notice the love with which Jesus looked at her. What I then saw brought me to my knees with the greatest sadness I've ever felt. She bolted out into a field, white dress flowing behind her, and jumped right in the middle of a small swimming pool-sized mud hole. So now she's in the mud. She was not dirty before taking this muddy leap, but the thoughts in her own mind, along with the things other people said, because she was listening to wrong information, assured her that she was. For this reason, she didn't feel in her heart that she was worthy to be clean, and so she went and jumped in the mud. Jesus was right there. He saw the whole thing happen. He went into the mud. He pulled her out. He tried to reassure her that she was clean and beautiful in his eyes. He brought water, washed her, cleaned her up again. She stood there for a while looking at him and then looked at herself again. Immediately, she started to feel bad, and for the second time, she headed straight for the mud. This cycle happened a few times before the vision passed from my heart. So the thing is, Jesus' words over us, the way he sees us, is often so far from the way we see ourselves. We have to stop looking at ourselves, because when we do, the very image that we see self-defeats us, and then we go and we jump in the mud.
Yeah.
So this whole thing with Christ and his bride, he sees us as beautiful and white, and we are what he sees us as. And so we need to rest in that identity, and we need to live and move into that. Rather than putting our eyes on ourselves, we need to put our eyes on the bridegroom. Like you said, when she's walking down the aisle, wouldn't it be strange if she was looking at everybody else or at herself?
Yeah. First of all, who cares what everybody else is saying or doing or thinking?
There you go.
People might only see you for your past and what you've done wrong or who you used to be or whatever. Who cares? He sees you washed clean.
Yeah.
Pure, radiant, beautiful. Read through Song of Solomon. See how he sees you.
And in that very first psalm that we read, leave your past behind. Sever all the ties to the past and to the stuff that was there. It's gone.
Yeah.
He took care of it. So next week, we're going to talk about some very interesting things. There are some descriptions of the bride of Christ in the book of Revelation. We're going to go there.
Okay, well, it's going to be exciting. So stay tuned for part 2 of this unveiling of the bride.
Yeah.
Yeah?
We're going to lift the veil.
All right, let's see what she looks like.
That's right. Next week. All right, everyone. Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.